joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they carol, raising their sound. Oh, hail their tones, gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. All on they stand, all without end, their joyful tone to every home. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is their song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they carol, praising the sun. Oh, hail the dear, traveling their tones, gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding dong, that is their song, with joyful merry, merry Christmas. All on they stand, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. On they stand, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Ding dong, ding dong.
Welcome. Happy holidays, everyone. So glad you are all here. And yes, you online, that was me who clapped early. It's just us. It's just us. And we're so glad that you are here with us on this sacred night and this holy season that we get to celebrate the light and the love. I am Shannon O'Hurley, and I am so grateful to be with you this night. If you are new here, either in person or online, please know that we welcome you. We are an inclusive, progressive, compassionate community. Our vision is recognizing our oneness. We envision a world that works for all. And our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. All people are welcome here. Everyone of any faith, every being is welcome in this place. And know that not only are you welcome here, but that those who have come before you have mindfully and thoughtfully created a place just for you, exactly as you are this day. And so with that, I say welcome, and I invite you to stand as you are able. Those at home, if you're in your living room, stand, or wherever, if you feel comfortable, I invite you to join us in this Christmas carol. Oh, please have a seat. Those of you at home, have a seat if you are standing. The greatest sages, saints, mystics, and seers all shared stories to teach the universal principles of love and oneness. And we are going to tell one of them tonight. In fact, it's one of the greatest stories ever written. Whatever faith tradition you come from, non-religious or neutral, whatever you may have grown up with, just know that like all ancient stories across cultures and time, the Christmas story holds powerful insight and wisdom for each one of us. For us here in New Thought, the Christmas story is an expansive, symbolic celebration of the universal, mystical, and inclusive truth of who we are. It celebrates the light within each one of us. And if you listen to this story with the ear behind the ear, while it celebrates the birth of the man Jesus of Nazareth, if you lean into it, this really is our story. It's the story of triumph over so much difficulty. It's about the infinite possibility that lives within each of us. Christmas insists that out of pain or challenge, something new can always be born. Some new awareness, vision, or hope. This is an old story that has lasted the test of time, and like any story, it is not meant to be taken literally. Just need to give that disclaimer. This is an allegory, a parable. It is filled with symbolism, and over millennia, the great wisdom from this ancient legend speaks directly to our hearts, to our minds, and to our souls, and it is deeply relevant today.
Once upon a time, many years ago, in the chill of the dark winter night, there was a single star that shone brightly in the deep and dark sky. Its brilliant light glistened over the small town of Bethlehem. This was the same light that appeared during the Big Bang at the beginning of creation. This light illuminated the wisdom of the writers of the Upanishads in India, of Buddha and Confucius, of Lao Tzu and the pagan wisdom keepers of the Emerald Isle. It was the light of the burning bush that called Moses, and the light that burned the oil in the miracle of Hanukkah. It was the same light that lit the way for the ancient first peoples of the North and South America. The same light illuminated the hearts of Muhammad, Guru Nanak, and Baha'u'llah. For this light in Bethlehem was the light of love itself. It was the light of God. And tonight, dear friends, we celebrate its proclamation of the promise of peace on earth.
This light is known by many names. The inner light, the light within, our Christ light. And it illuminates the beauty and the richness and the diversity of this one human family that we are all a part of. It leads us on the path towards the one universal language of love that we all share. So why is it that sometimes we cannot see or feel this light? When things are challenging, it can be easy to forget that love is our common language. And the light of love, just like the Star of Bethlehem, guides us through grief and fear or any form of darkness. We are called to remember and to allow it to shine brightly so that together we can create a world that lights the way for peace.
We now invite practitioner Helen Ohm to light the candle that represents light. This light of love is our Christmas prayer.
I pray for peace, blessings and honor, heaven, right, earth's despair. This is my Christmas prayer for those that grieve. God will bring comfort, laughter will rapture them. This is my Christmas prayer. And I pray that love will rule and reign. And I pray that time will rid the pain of this world as we learn to trust and care. This is my Christmas prayer. For those in need, there will be plenty, each other's burdens bear. This is my Christmas prayer for those in need. There would be plenty, and each other's burden share. This is my Christmas prayer. I pray that love will rule and reign, and I pray that time will rid the pain of this world as we learn to trust and care. This is my Christmas prayer. Let hope fill our hearts. Let hope fill our hearts. Shine a light through the dark. All around the world and everywhere, I will pray this Christmas prayer. I pray that love will rule and reign. I pray that time will rid the pain of this world as we learn to trust and care. This is my Christmas. This is my Christmas prayer. Love will rule and reign, and I pray that time will rid this pain of this world as we learn to trust and care. Oh, this is my Christmas prayer. This is my Christmas prayer. Merry Christmas.
Well, as the story goes, the angel Gabriel was sent to a young woman named Mary. Out of a deep sleep, Mary was awakened, and the angel Gabriel told her to go outside and up onto the roof for their conversation. At first, Mary was understandably shaken.
but she trusted the angel and agreed. It was up there that the angel Gabriel said to Mary, "Rejoice, O highly favored one, blessed are you among women. Do not fear, God is with you. You shall conceive and bear a son and give him the name Jesus." The Virgin Mary said to the angel, "How can this be?" The angel answered her, "The Spirit is with you, and the power of the Most High will bless you." Mary was deeply troubled by the angel's words and felt overwhelmed and afraid of what lay ahead. And yet, she chose to trust the angel's message. The word of God had been clear. She had been chosen.
Mary symbolizes the receptive heart within all of us. In the story, when she agrees to go onto the roof where the angel would speak to her, this meant she was willing to go to a higher place of understanding, of consciousness and awareness. And then we see her take in the information that the angel gives her, and we watch her realize that even though the unknown is scary, she accepts that indeed she has been chosen for this task. We have all been chosen to conceive of something greater, something more loving, more kind, more benevolent, and then, like Mary, to bring it forth into the world. When we are living our lives awake and open-hearted, when we choose to say yes, to go onto the roof, to our high-minded place, miracles happen because love is brought forth to that situation. The angel Gabriel represents the loving messages, the insights, the aha moments that we all receive daily. There is an angel voice within each one of us that knows what to do. It's our intuition, our God voice, our inner guide. It is that still small voice of love within us. Where we perceive limitation, fear, doubt, our still small voice knows only possibility, connectivity, and peace. I ask you, what is it, or what way of being are you ready to birth forward from yourself into the world? Whatever that is, trust it. Like Mary, when we trust our inner guide and follow its light, we will be forever changed, and so will the world.
And now I would invite Barbara Buckingham Hayes, practitioner, to light the candle that represents truth. We are all called to trust our angel voice.
Must have been hard for you to hear what the angel had to say. Knowing your name may be put to shame. And it must have been hard for you to accept what was asked of you. Knowing your life would never be the same. But what would I do? What would I do if I heard the voice of an angel with so much to gain and so much to lose. Could I walk in Mary's shoes? It must have been hard for you to explain what you had seen. They must have thought you had gone insane. And it must have been hard for you to tell the man you love that this child would not have his name. Oh, but what would I do? And what would I do if I heard the voice of an angel in my ear, telling me that I should not be afraid? Oh, with so much to gain and so much to lose, would I walk in Mary's shoes? Could I handle all that was asked of me? As my world comes crashing, would I still believe that I heard the voice of an angel in my ear, telling me that I should not be afraid? Oh, with so much to gain and so much to lose, if given the choice, what would I choose? Could I ever walk in Mary's shoes? Could I ever walk in Mary's shoes? Could I walk in her shoes? Ooh. Could I ever walk in Mary's shoes? Could I walk in her shoes?
So, in those days, Caesar Augustus published a decree ordering census to be done for all people. Because of this, the newly betrothed couple are forced to leave Nazareth and travel all the way to Judea to register for the Roman census. It is a grueling, dangerous, and exhausting journey, and Mary is 9 months pregnant. When they finally arrived, the town was overcrowded with other people also needing to register. Mary and Joseph were strangers in a foreign land. All the innkeepers in town would not take them in, saying there was no room. Finally, thankfully, the last innkeeper, feeling compassion for Mary, offered them his stable. In there, outside in a barn, that Mary gave birth to her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger.
At some point in all of our lives, to varying degrees, we have all experienced in some way what it feels like to be left out, to be turned away, looking for an inn, for a safe place to belong. This ancient story rings so true on so many levels, especially today. If you think about it, this part of the story is about two very poor young parents, most likely teenagers from the Middle East, forced to leave their home because of political reasons. Mary and Joseph were from a small Jewish tribe, that they had been oppressed by the Romans. And in the Galilee region where they were from, we know that the Romans taxed them at a rate close to 90%. Right now, families all over the world are fleeing authoritarian regimes. And when they finally arrive at a new place, they too are being turned away. They are our modern day Marys and Josephs, my friends. It's much more comfortable when we can recognize ourselves in Mary. But what makes this story resonate so deeply is that at some point in our lives, we have all been the innkeeper who shut the door. And we have all been the innkeeper who showed compassion. When we make room in the inn of our hearts for one another, when we embrace diversity as the divine gift that it is, we realize that it is, in fact, our greatest strength.
We now invite practitioner Dana Butler to light the candle that represents oneness. It is the recognition of our oneness that will liberate us.
There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. It's mysterious until you know the truth. It's as simple as love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Holla, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, and different names. But difference only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. Well, remember once we close our eyes to see such distance words were never meant to be. Yeah. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Holla, angels' wings to heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's in the air we breathe. It's in the power of love in you.
It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the name that you're bearing in the love that is so deep. It's in the power of love and the light of you and me. It's in the power of the love, forever in you and me. It's in the power of the love of you and me.
How about if we all take a deep breath? So, taking that beautiful energy, this is our time for our conscious giving. It's an opportunity to pay it forward, to join together as one power. You know, we give 10% of our gift here out into the world to organizations that live our values of inclusivity out into the world. And ushers, do please come forward. Thank you. Those of you here, you can give when the basket comes around. Those of you at home, you can pull out your phone and you can text to give, or you can go online. All that info is on the screen. New Thought Center for Spiritual Living is so grateful for all of the gifts that you give. It makes all of this possible. So on behalf of our Board of Trustees, I want to thank you for all that you've given all year and that which you continue to give. It grows us. And so with that, let us say our blessing together. You can take your gift and put it on your heart, or just energetically place it over your heart. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Thank you. LaRonda Steele. Let's hear it for LaRonda Steele.
You better go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Christ within is born. Christ within is born. When I was young and troubled, I was searching for my soul. I went inside and I found a precious loving Lord. You better go, yeah. Tell it on the mountain, everywhere. Tell it on the mountain. Oh, yes, that Christ within is born. Christ within is born. Some people walk in darkness. They yearn to see the light. God
for Glenn, Hoover, LaRonda Steele, and Lori Jones.
Woo! So astrologers, also known as the Magi or the wise men, followed the bright star in the east. After traveling a great distance, they finally arrived in Jerusalem. They met with King Herod, who had ruled over the Jewish people for nearly 30 years, and asked him, "Where is the one who has been born king of the Jewish people? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." Surprisingly, when King Herod heard this, he was visibly disturbed. He demanded the wise men return to him after finding the newborn. Eventually, the Magi finally came upon the star directly over the newborn king, and they were overcome with great joy. Kneeling beside him, they opened their treasures and with jubilation offered sacred gifts to him: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Word spread quickly about the birth of this new king named Jesus. Later, the Magi received a message in a dream not to return to Herod, that it was not safe to do so. Thankfully, because they listened and went back to their own country by a different route, they and the newborn king in Bethlehem were spared harm.
In this story, Herod represents our ego with its messages of separateness and fundamentalism and narrow-mindedness. The Magi remind us, despite those egoic, inner critic voices, to keep going and to place our focus above the negativity that can pull us down. The Magi were Zoroastrian astrologer, astronomer, priests. They studied the stars and they followed the light. They traveled many, many miles despite what would have been a very dangerous and threatening route. But they insisted. And these men weren't Jewish, yet they were compelled to honor and to bow before the newborn Jewish king. The Magi remind us to listen and follow the beckoning of the light into a new way of being. As the story later evolved during the Middle Ages, writers proposed that each of the Magi, also known as the Three Kings, represented a different continent, culture, and way of life. For us, the Three Kings symbolize multiculturalism, inclusion, and the one love, the one light that we all share. The path they journeyed was the path towards greater peace.
We now invite practitioner Terry. Terry's going to light the candle that represents peace. Like the Magi, when we listen to our own divine guidance, we are led on the path of peace.
Let there be peace, peace to every nation. Let there be hope for all the world to see. Let there be love and joy to all the children. Let there be peace on earth for you and me. If I had one wish on my Christmas list, it wouldn't be for presents under my tree. There will be no more tears for crying, no more wars for fighting, and every mother's child would have enough to eat. So when I get down on my knees to pray, ask the Lord above to light the way, and let there be peace. A peace to every nation, let there be hope for all the world to see. Let there be love and joy to all the children. Let there be peace on earth for you and me. When I look in the mirror, all I want to see is true compassion looking back at me. I want love my neighbor and be the hands and feet of Jesus. Take his love to the least of these. All I'm asking is to be the change. And when I get down on my knees, I say, let there be peace. Peace to every nation, let there be hope for all the world to see. Let there be love and joy to all the children. Let there be peace on earth for you and me. Let there be peace. Let there be love. Let there be joy for you and me. Let there be peace. Let there be love. Let there be joy for you and me. For you and me. For you and me. Oh, and peace to all the nation. Let there be hope for all the world to see. Let there be love and joy to all the children. Let there be peace on earth for you and me. Yeah. Oh, you and me. Let there be love for all the world to see. Let there be joy and love to all the children. Let there be peace on earth for you and me. Yeah, for you and me. Let there be peace on earth for you and me.
Tonight, we celebrate the birth of the baby king who grew to be known for the next 2,000 years as Jesus the Christ. On this very night, we celebrate the light. During this holy and sacred time, we celebrate the Christ consciousness that is available to each one of us. Jesus never thought of himself as different from others. His whole teaching was that what he did, others could do. His entire ministry, his life purpose, was to remind us that we are here to love one another as we are loved by the divine. Many years after the light appeared in the sky at his birth, this Prince of Peace was teaching a crowd and said, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Have faith in God and faith in each other. Peace is my gift to you. Do not buy into distress or fear. As God has loved me, so I have loved you. Live on in love, and you will receive peace."
This is the time in our service where now each of us will light a candle to rededicate ourselves to choosing love and to choosing peace. So you were each given a candle, looks like this, when you came in. If for some reason you don't have one, please raise your hand and one of our ushers will happily bring one to you. For those of you at home, this would be a great time. If you have a candle, you can go grab that if you have one handy. We'd love to invite you into this ritual as well. And I'm going to now invite our practitioners, our candle lighters, to come forward and light their candle so that they may begin to light the candles on the edge of the pews. Please. Thank you. Once your candle is lit, I invite you to turn to the person next to you so that they may light their candle off of yours. I invite all of you at home to please join us for this candlelight honoring. For our friends, our family, and our chosen family, both near and far, may they be surrounded by angels, fortified by grace, and embraced by the light of love.
For those in need this evening, the unhoused, the hungry, or food insecure, for the displaced, and those impacted by illness, violence, racism, or hatred, let us raise our light.
For the many healthcare workers, teachers, scientists, frontline workers, and all those who have supported us during this pandemic, let us raise our candles to the light.
For all those in our country and around the world who passed on from COVID, may their memories live on in the hearts of their loved ones. Let us raise our light.
For this beloved community, for all those here, for those online, for those who have just found us today, and for those who have moved on. May New Thought Center for Spiritual Living be a light in your heart always. Let us raise our light.
For our children and the children who are on their way to us, may they grow up in a healthy climate, may they learn the way of peace and inclusivity, and may they thrive in the light of love.
Finally, for peace within ourselves, for peace in our community, for peace on the planet, for peace in our lifetime. As you gently extinguish your candle, may you, beloveds, as you gently extinguish your candle, may you, beloveds, may you, dear ones, allow your light to shine brightly in the name of peace. I want to extend the deepest bow of gratitude to everyone who has participated in this service. And remember, we have one tomorrow at 11 a.m. It's our family service. We invite you to join us again tomorrow. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.